Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the NXT Ring Report. Coming up, as you see right here, this was from last week as Braun Breaker stood upon and raised his championship high against El Dragunov and JD Madonna. They both won NXT Gold, and they had to go through Braun Breaker in order to get it. But Braun Breaker issues a warning to both men who's coming for his title in one way or another. We'll see what Braun Breaker had to say. Braun Breaker had the last laugh tonight. When you talk about Steiner Mouth, we'll talk about that coming up, as well as hot topics. You see right here, um, Malachi Black, Aleister Black in WWE, Malachi Black in EAW. He spoke out about what's going on with him, about him taking a break, and why he wanted to get out his AEW contract. And we'll get to the latest on what's going on. Is that we're gonna get started with the NXT Ring Report. It starts right now on the Pro. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kendra Dix here. Thank you for joining us right here on the Pro Wrestling Show on the NXT Ring Report. We review NXT to give you the rundown what had happened. This is the NXT Ring Report. You can call it after show or however you want to call it. But I want to thank you for watching. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is care. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show, and click that notification button so you won't miss a thing. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it real deep. This is the NXT Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show, and we thank you for watching because that's what it say. Pro wrestling matters. We talked about. Don't forget the Raw Ring Report is event for Raw. I'll say that. All right. As you see right here, this was happened from last week. The ending of last week's NXT. You saw champion Braun Breaker raising up his championship over his shoulder to show Ilya Dragunov and what's his name, JD Madonna, thing or two of you're coming for his title. He's gonna show you. Well, these are the matches that were for the lineup tonight. A brawl match, Gallus versus Brooks and Jinxon. Um, Graham and Grimes versus Joe Gacy. NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose in action. The Key Alliance taking on one half of the tag team champions. Forgot one of the name. Wesley against Tony D'Angelo for opportunity to be in the NXT North American Championship ladder match tournament, as well. Damian Kemp versus one of the Creed brothers. So we got a lot to get into. I'm gonna start off with the opening. Ilya Dragunov appeared on the show. Ilya Dragunov with his signature, the former NXT UK champion. The championship was deactivated after it was merged into the NXT championship when what's his name, Tyler Bate, after what Tyler Bate tried to go for the NXT title. It didn't go for no effect. So Tyler Bate couldn't get the job done. But Ilya Dragunov, one of those long range champions, I got to watch his match back with Walter on the WWE Network to see what that was all about. But Ilya Dragunov said that his intention is that he wants to be NXT champion and he wants to be added into that NXT championship match, as well as Braun Breaker came out there and he was talking smack to JD Dragunov and JD Madonna. And I think we're going to get it. Braun Breaker trying to act like his uncle with that Steiner math, trying to say, you put 33% chance against 33% chance. So it's a 33% 33.3% chance of me winning. I guess it's standard math, and then the audience just went crazy for that. Braun act more like his uncle than his father. But Braun, you can tell he's a chip out the old block. Braun Breaker, trying to. He said he's gonna be a fighting champion, so he'll take on both men at Halloween Havoc for the championship. Braun Breaker, proven to be a fighting champion, taking against all comers. He's gonna defend his championship in a triple threat match against JD Madonna and Dragunov for the NXT championship. We'll get to see that. That Steiner math so funny. His uncle created that Steiner math and made some. He had to make money, and it's been a meme ever since. And so we'll see that match coming up. Speaking of Dragunov, he was in action. Dragunov was in action. He won his match. Guy who he won his match against, but he won. So he's gaining momentum heading towards his match, that triple threat match at Halloween Havoc. So we'll get to see that match as well. As well as Nikita Lyons was in action. Nikita Lyons was Soa Raka. I don't know how to pronounce her name. You know how I am about pronouncing folks' names. Soa Raka, she got some opportunity. So Soa Raka is in the driver's seat. So we'll see how this all will play out down the road. Also, too, NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose was in action. Mandy Rose took on a jobber. Well, I mean, this was Soa Raka. I meant to say this is a debut vignette. They acting like she's gonna be the next Matt Riddle, the female version of Matt Riddle. So we'll see how she'll fare out and play and stuff. So we'll see. Well, speaking of that, NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose on the NXT Women's Champion, who's newly engaged and stuff. I mean, waste no time whatsoever. Mandy Rose defeated her opponent, the women's champion, getting herself ready for her match against Alba Fire, who wants to be be the NXT Women's Champion. And we'll get to see that match between her and Alba Fire. Down the road, Alba Fire making a promise she's going to be the next NXT Women's Champion. We'll just have to wait and see. And then she said, "And new Women's Champion." So I'm assuming this is going to match going to happen at Halloween Havoc between these two women. So we'll see how far that's going to go at Halloween Havoc. Speaking of that, Nikita Lyons was in action. Nikita Lyons, who I thought who was going to have a chance of winning the women's championship. Well, Nikita Lyons was in action. Nikita Lyons teamed up with Zoe Stark to get their win, and Nikita Lyons used her rump shaker. Nikita Lyons gets the win with the rump shaker. She shook some rumps tonight. We can find, right here. This is it. Nikita Lyons with that winning package right here to win the match with the rump shaker and stuff. Nikita with the pinfall, get the win over. Could Nikita and them be in line for a future tag team championship match? Only time will tell on that. But we'll just have to wait and see how all that's gonna play out down the road and see how it's gonna be and stuff. But I could see Nikita and her team challenging for the women's tag team titles down the road and stuff. See how that's gonna play out for Nikita and her tag team partner. And we'll see how that's gonna play out eventually in that match and stuff. Speaking of that, Chase U University, they was doing a little thing. One of the Chase U dudes, he's gonna be in action next week. He's gonna be taking on Von Wagner next week for a qualifying match for the NXT North American Championship. So Von Wagner getting an opportunity Look for Von Wagner to win that match. It just something tells me Von Wagner's going to win that match. Von Wagner's going to win decisively. I'm telling you right now. Also, too, Cameron Grimes had a monkey on his back with Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy's trying to recruit Cameron Grimes into the faction. Cameron Grimes declined, but Joe Gacy continues to agitate him to join his group, but Joe Gacy continues to pick a needle at Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes doesn't want to be in the group. But only time will tell to see if Cameron Grimes can get something going. We just have to wait and see how that's going to play out eventually between that match between them. We'll just have to play. We'll just have to see, play it ear for ear. If Cameron Grimes will reform or not into Joe Gacy's way. But we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Plus, too, Wesley, he won his match tonight, earning himself into the North American ladder match. So we got Carmelo Hayes, Wesley, and Warner John. So the lineup is getting stacked as we go. So we'll see that match as well and how that's going to play out and stuff. What else did we see? And the main event was this. We saw this. This was the main event. This match right here. Gallus versus Brooks and Jensen. Both teams are former UK Tag Team Champions, but Brooks and Jensen trying to show their rough and mean streak just didn't show up for Gallus, which I thought they would have been the heavy favorites to win the match. But Brooks and Jensen won the match with some help. Brooks and Jensen trying to be a red hot team, coming out to win over that. But we just wait and see and how that's going to play out eventually down the road. So that ends the NXT Ring Report. Let's move forward. Let's quickly move forward to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics, we told you that Malachi Black, also known as Aleister Black in WWE, Malachi was saying that he's taking some time off to get himself together. Malachi wanted to set apart and not be around and recalibrate during his run in AEW or whatever. But Tony Khan is saying that he's not going to give Malachi what he wants, a release. Many people have speculated that Malachi might have wanted to go back to WWE, be back with his wife, Selena Vega. Since they're both in different organizations, Malachi thought working on the Vince McMahon would have been treacherous and atrocious, and now he just realized that Triple H is back at the helm, and he wants to go back to the devil that he knows and the devil that he don't knows, and Tony Khan, while working for him. Well, Malachi got a rude awakening as Tony Khan told him no, it's a conditional release, so it was that being that a conditional release. So Malachi Black took to Twitter. We'll have some of it tomorrow and see what he had to say. We'll just leave it like that. Also, too, CM Punk this is a rare appearance of CM Punk right now. He's recovering from his tricep surgery after that ordeal, what happened. So CM Punk trying to stay, quiet and hide under as well. Knew it was gonna turn off. Gonna end the pro wrestling show for right now today. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow for the pro wrestling show.